Hello, so I'm Sarah Gibbs, and I will be analyzing the change from a paper-based medical administration record referred to as MAR to electronic medication administration record referred to as EMAR. So I am currently placed at BGH, Brockville General Hospital, on the first floor. It's a medical surgical unit. However, we mostly just have medicine patients due to the surgical patients being on the med-surg located on the second floor. We are staffed for 24 beds, however we have 31 beds available for overflow patients. And on this unit we have 6 assigned beds assigned for stroke patients because we are the stroke unit in the Lynn community. So, focus of the change project. In early December of 2018, the change to an EMAR system from a paper-based MAR occurred. This change only occurred on some units, so for instance, both medical surgical units and the labor delivery unit. Critical care units like emergency and the operating room have not implemented the EMAR. A pilot test was conducted on the mental health unit before implementing the EMAR system to acute care. And Garden View site also implemented the EMAR system a little bit earlier than us in October 2018. Babel et al. 2014 and Elliott, Lee, and Hessany 2016 stated that EMAR systems improve the legibility of medication orders, and it also notifies the nurse when medication is missed, which I'll be talking about a little later. Paper MARs are often missing information, so they can be missing the time, the dosage, or the route, and when this occurs, the nurse needs to call the doctor and find out this missing information before administering the med, so it takes up their time. And then they also have to correct the paper-based MAR to include the correct information. So in the past, I have also seen nurses, and I have experienced this myself, having to spend time locating the paper MAR due to the document not being in the right location. So the paper MAR could have been edited by another nurse or physician, or it could be in the wrong location, like under the wrong patient in that file, which could make a medication error. So an EMAR also increases patient safety this way. So again, recent literature says EMAR systems have been shown to decrease medication errors, and through reducing medication errors, this is increasing patient safety by minimizing the potential adverse effects that could occur due to that medication error. So the EMAR system, which I said, it notifies for the nurse when a medication is missed or it's forgotten to be signed off. So in the EMAR system at BGH, the medication is highlighted in blue. I find this tool very useful because the paper MARs didn't have this safety check, so this also increases patient safety once again. And finally, all the patient information is one spot located online, and that is also increasing patient safety. So Kurt Lewin's theory of change can be applied to this situation. Sutherland 2013 states that Kurt Lewin's theory can be applied to understand human behavior relating to change. So there's 3 phases. First, the unfreezing stage, which has already occurred by the floor nurses becoming dissatisfied with the practice of using a paper-based MAR. The change is currently in the movement phase since the nurses are now using the EMAR system across several units of the hospital. Eventually the nurses will begin the process of the freezing stage through the nurses becoming comfortable with using the EMAR system. So the changes that the nurses were faced with through the implementation of the EMAR system were how it changed the traditional workflow for them. For instance, the nurses need to be able to maneuver the EMAR system, which may take time initially to get used to do so. For instance, younger nurses on the floor, I've heard more positive feedback from the older nurses on the floor who are not so up to date with technology. Second, with the EMAR system, physicians are now able to order medications online. And one thing I heard from nurses is transcribing medications does not occur anymore because the EMAR systems does not require this process. So these are the stakeholders involved. I will be talking to them about the change that occurred to the EMAR system and see their views on it. So the advantages and disadvantages. Research by Babel et al. 2014, Chow et al. 2014, Elliott et al. 2014, and Wilder et al. 2016 has shown that EMAR systems are time efficient and reduce medication errors. So nurses on the floor have explained to me that there's no longer need to transcribe, and they're super happy about this because it saves an enormous amount of time during the night shift. Wilder et al. 2016 states that nurses no longer have to search for patients' MAR due to all the patient information being on one line, so that saves a bunch of time as well. With certain EMR systems at BGH, we have it, so there's an inbox, and the inbox notifies the nurses when a new medication order happens, and that medication order has to be reviewed before the nurse can administer a medication. Again, another safety check. Finally, one last advantage of the EMR system, according to Bablow et al. 2014 and Elliott et al. 2014, is that it improves legibility through the orders being typed and not handwritten. So, the EMR system also has some disadvantages. So, through working with the EMR system myself, I noticed that it does not include IV fluids, so then the nurses have to search through the orders, and that takes up time because the orders aren't very organized that well. Secondly, the EMR system isn't implemented across all units in the hospital, so when you're receiving a patient from critical care, for example, ER, it takes time for the MAR to be uploaded into the EMR system. So, in my practice, I was taught with a paper-based MAR is that you make a dot on the paper-based MAR with your pen when you pour the medication, and then you administer it, and then you come back and you sign off the paper MAR. However, this cannot be done with the EMR system. A last advantage that I found so far is that a physician can discontinue a medication at any time. So a nurse might not be realizing this, or she didn't refresh her EMR page, so the discontinuation doesn't come up. Weber et al. 2016 states that this process can have a negative effect on the communication between the physician and the nurse. So this is my Gantt chart. It lays out the time and certain activities will be completed. For instance, the questionnaire, the Likert scale that we're going to do, and the interview process we're going to complete at 2 different times. This is to analyze if the feedback improves about the EMR system as the nurses and other multidisciplinaries get used to the EMR system. So this is the Likert scale that we're going to be handed out on the floor. Deska, Jared, and myself are going to be handing out the same Likert scale, so later on we can analyze the data that way. And again, this is going to be handed out twice. One earlier on and one later on in the semester, so we can see if the comments change. So these are a few questions I'll be asking nurse management. I'm curious to see their perspective of how management believes this change has affected the nurses. There are a few. And finally, analyzing the change project. So Deska, myself, and Jared will be meeting on March 18th and March 19th to discuss the results that we collected. At first, we're going to discuss if the results changed on our personnel units from the first time the data collected from the second. Then we'll discuss the similarities and differences when data collected on the different hospital units. So, a little bit of research here. Grounded theory will be used to analyze the interview questions. According to Labrondo, Wood, and Harvard 2013, and Lawrence and Tarr 2013, they state that grounded theory can be used to analyze data simultaneously while still collecting data. This is helpful to us because we could possibly be collecting data every day from just hearing the nurses talking about the system. And then interval measurement will be used to analyze the Likert type scale. According to Labrondo, Wood, and Harvard 2013, interval measurements rank the order of the data collected. And here are my references, and here's the form where my preceptor signed. Thank you.